little more. A little more.
You got?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey there, everyone. Film Dude here. Gonna be talking about because I love the original web series. It's great. And I mean, there's a movie coming out, so we might as well talk about it. And yeah, right away, the original series is really well done. Rewatching it again, I love how talented Kane is. He wanted to make movies. He wanted to really get out there and do something that people were going to watch and get his name out there. And he did it. I mean, people could see his talent with the camera, the way he used minimal space to create this vast space is really impressive. The editing is great. At times it's very subtle. At times it's very frenetic. I think it's very smart in the way that he does that. And the music and sound design is wonderful. That is the heart of that original project. All that stuff together to create something that big movie producers saw and said, wow, let's make that into something. I mean, you got Atomic Monster, A24, and others that wanted to do a joint venture and bring it into the big screen. And good for Kane. I mean, he got out there. He's part of the project and directing it and putting his spin on it. So I think that's really good for him. But upon watching the teaser and the trailer and rewatching the original series, I just had the question of, can the Backrooms movie be a great spiritual successor to the original concept? Because I'm worried, like every other thing that studio heads get involved in, there's going to be a lot of meddling. And watching that trailer, especially rewatching it, I had a lot of reservations about the way the pacing of the trailer itself was set up. Because the way they set up a trailer is in a way how the film is going to narratively go in a sense. And that was my worry. Because again, you have this core concept from the original series of man finds himself in strange location, lost, unable to figure out where he is and how to get out, and just documenting his experiences in there. In a way, the concept that the movie is doing is very similar. Instead of the fact that the man gets trapped there, the man discovers it and now is fascinated by it. So changing some of the core concepts there, but in the end, we are again going back to a character that is isolated and lost. And I think that's fine. But, big but, I did not like the way the pacing of the edit for the trailer went. And in a way, it could just be because of the fact that it is a A24 elevated horror trailer and they all do the same sort of pacing. But what made the Backrooms, the original series, so great is that the pacing of that is slow. It's deliberate. Lots of walking, lots of creepy imagery that just slowly comes into your purview. When it is energized with frenetic energy and editing and music and sound, it's because that is how the story does it, and then it cuts to slow, deliberate, calming pace. Because again, you are this character trapped in this location. And the way you would move is slow because you are lost. The way that the trailer was edited, it is fast, it's kinetic, there's lots of intensity to it. And again, it could just be the way that the trailer is edited, but in a way that there are shots in it that appear to be edited for the film, so it might be in the end that way. But again, that is slowly destroying the original concept. Because not only are we changing sort of the feel and pacing of the original with the movie, we're now changing the story by adding more characters. We're adding more of plot holes because, like, why would this person keep going back there? It's not like they're trapped. They work in this place and they discover this and now they just keep going. I mean, if he's trying to prove that he's not crazy, I mean, just bring one person in there, record it, and be like, hey, yeah, this is weird, and that's it. But how do you expand upon this story? How does that work? How does that keep the pacing of a man going into craziness? Because he's not alone. He's not trapped. I mean, maybe on a spiritual level, he's trapped in a dead-end job and a dead-end life, and this is his freedom. We won't know until we see it. But just the way that they set up everything, I'm a little cautious, you know? And it's not to say that the actors aren't good. From what I've seen, they do a phenomenal job with the line deliveries that they're given.
Look, I know how this sounds, but you gotta understand, it's massive in there.
I'm not saying I don't believe you.
Okay, I'm gonna come back
They're
here
given.
with proof.
And I was really liking the handheld camera portions, and I'm hoping that they keep that as a motif throughout. But again, we don't get to see a lot of that. We see a lot of the regular narrative structure, the way it's shot and everything like that, which in a way has distanced itself from the original. And that's my big worry, is the studio heads and the producers getting involved. Because again, we have seen this before with other YouTube talent and other creatives that get involved. They have a vision, and then the heads say, no, we're gonna do something different. I mean, Chris Stuckman is a great example of that, where he had a great core idea. He was able to sell it. He got some big producers involved, but then they wanted to change things. There was tons of reshoots. There was tons of rewritings. There was tons of changes to the structure, which stinks because the original core idea of it being this found footage film with gritty camera, film and other thing like that as a way to draw you into sort of this obscure world, I thought was smart. It works in the film. When I watch that, I'm like, wow, I wish I saw more of that. But again, you could totally see the test footage screenings where they're like, this audience member didn't understand it, or this, or we need to change this, we need to change the narrative structure, we need to do this, we need to do that. And it's just like, why? Why are you doing that? It kills the whole course concept of bringing in a creative that has a vision. And hopefully Kane has had ample opportunities to work on this film free of some constraints. I've known that there was an original person writing it, and then they had another person rewrite it, and another person. So, you know, that's a lot of mucking up the story. There's tons of big producers attached to this. You got James Wan, Osgood, Sean Levy, so many others. And it's like every one of them has their own input to that. And you could definitely see it in the trailer. You could see it with the blood, because that's definitely an Osgood thing. You can see it with the crazy editing and the frenetic camera work, which feels like a James Wan thing. So again, I am really hesitant to see what they're going to do. I'm not going to watch another trailer. I'm going to go into it blind. But again, it goes back to the concept that I've had. The question, the big question that I was thinking is, does this film, can this film be the spiritual successor to the original series and keep its vision alive? I mean, I've said all my worries. I want to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment, talk about it with me. I am here for that. Leave a like, subscribe, all that jazz. But I'll see you for the next one. Film Dude out. Yeah, peace.